Hey everyone, welcome back to the Forging Indestructible Self-Discipline podcast. We're the podcast where we dive deep into the habits and mindsets that help us become stronger, more focused individuals. I'm your host, John Fontenot, and today we're going to explore a topic that is critical to personal growth: being disciplined in improving our communication with others. We all know that communication is the cornerstone of building relationships, both personally and professionally. But here's the thing. Effective communication isn't something that just happens. It takes effort, intention, and yes, discipline. Whether it's listening attentively, speaking clearly, or managing our emotions in a heated conversation, there's a lot more to communication than just talking. Now, I'm sure you've heard the saying, communication is the key. But how many of us have truly disciplined ourselves to communicate well? Truth is, the most successful communicators are the ones who have learned to be mindful of every word, every pause, and every response. Think about the last time you had a conversation with someone who really listened. I mean, truly listened. Not just waiting for their turn to talk, but someone who gave you their full attention. It probably felt pretty good, didn't it? That's the power of active listening, and it's a huge part of disciplined communication. The discipline comes in when we have to slow down and be present in the moment. In today's fast-paced world, we're always rushing, always multitasking, and always thinking ahead to what we want to say next. But the truth is, effective communication requires us to hit pause and focus on the other person. When you're truly listening, you're not just hearing words, you're understanding emotions, intentions, and the nuances of what's being said. It's in these moments of listening that we build trust, deepen relationships, and show others that we value their thoughts. Active listening is a skill, one that takes practice. It means resisting the urge to interrupt, to judge, or to jump in with your own thoughts too quickly. Instead, it's about being fully present. And yes, it takes discipline to resist the impulse to cut in or think about what you'll say next. But listening is only half the equation, isn't it? The other half is how we respond. And here's where emotional discipline becomes essential. We've all been there, caught up in the heat of the moment, our emotions running high, and before we know it, we've said something we regret. The ability to control our emotions and respond thoughtfully is the true test of disciplined communication. When we're upset or frustrated, our instinct might be to snap back or lash out. But the best communicators are the ones who can pause before reacting, take a deep breath, and choose their response. It's not about suppressing emotions. It's about expressing them in a way that's constructive, not destructive. Being emotionally disciplined means we don't let our feelings dictate our words. It means we take that extra moment to consider the impact of what we're able to say. If you've ever had a conversation where both sides just seemed to click, it probably happened because both people were able to stay calm, collected, and intentional with their words. And that's what we should strive for. When we are disciplined in our emotions, we communicate in a way that invites understanding, not conflict. Now, there's another crucial aspect of communication that we often overlook: clarity. So many misunderstandings happen simply because we weren't clear enough in what we said. And this is where discipline plays a key role again. Being disciplined means thinking before we speak. It means not rushing through our words or assuming the other person knows exactly what we mean. Take a second to think about how your message will land. Are you being as clear as possible? Are you being direct but respectful? For example, let's say that you're giving feedback to someone It's easy to fall into the trap of being vague or beating around the bush. But the disciplined communicator knows that constructive feedback requires specificity. Instead of saying, "You need to improve," you might say, "I noticed that during the project, the deadlines were missed a few times. Let's break it down together so we can stay on track next time." Clear, actionable communication leads to better outcomes. When we take the time to ensure our words are clear, we eliminate a lot of unnecessary confusion. And when we communicate with precision, it shows that we respect the other person's time and energy. But here's the thing. Communication isn't always going to be smooth. Sometimes it's going to get messy. We're going to have difficult conversations. We're going to disagree. And we're going to have moments where our patience is tested. And that's where patience becomes a key part of disciplined communication. In those moments, when things get heated or frustrating, it's easy to rush to conclusions or walk away. But the disciplined communicator has the ability to stay in the conversation, to keep things calm, and to work toward understanding, even when it's tough. It's about having the patience to keep going, to stay grounded, and to see things through, no matter how uncomfortable it gets. This is where relationships grow. It's in these uncomfortable moments that true connection can be forged. When we push through, not by forcing our point of view, but by being patient enough to listen and respond in a thoughtful way. That's when we see the power of disciplined communication at work. Now, let's take a step back. Communication, like any skill, doesn't improve overnight. It requires constant practice. So let's challenge ourselves to focus on one small piece of communication every day. Maybe it's listening more actively, or maybe it's thinking more before we speak. Whatever it is, the key is consistency. Every conversation is an opportunity to practice discipline in how we communicate. The more we work at it, the more natural it becomes, and the better we get at forging strong, meaningful connections with others. To wrap up, communication isn't just about talking. It's about discipline. The discipline to listen, to respond thoughtfully, to be clear, and to be patient. When we take the time to cultivate these habits, we don't just improve our communication, we improve our relationships, our work, and ultimately our lives. So here's my challenge for you. The next time you have a conversation, make a conscientious effort to practice active listening. Resist the urge to interrupt, and really be present with the person you're talking to. See how that changes the quality of the conversation. Thanks for tuning in to the Forging Indestructible Self-Discipline podcast. I hope that today's episode gives you some insight into how powerful disciplined communication can be. Keep practicing, keep growing, and remember, discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you want to become. Till next time, bye.